Evening, all. Chief Prepper here. So, a lot of information out there about July 4th. A lot of stuff that probably scares people. I'm not sure this is going to help, but I go out once a week minimum to a military base, and they have increased their force protection security. So, there are different stages of it. I'm not going to go over here. I can just tell you it's up at least one level. Uh, So that means that they perceive a threat, that because they don't do that shit unless something's up. Now, the something that's up could never manifest, or it could be here any day. But I wanted to talk about some things. There are things that when you're going down this prepper journey where you'll get fatigued and you'll get tired, you'll let things lapse. I got two generators I got to work on again. Amazingly, it's the same two from last year. So the good news is I think I have what I need for one of them on hand. I don't know about the other. And if I do, then I'll have to go online and order that shit to replace it. So, but prepping is your lifeline for natural disasters. It is also your bridge to whatever comes next. Something that's on my mind in the shadows all the fucking time is I'm almost certain we as a country are going to fail. Uh, I don't like saying that, but they're using playbooks that they've used everywhere. If you look at Europe right now, Germany and Britain are about to have major fucking issues. Primarily due from the immigration policies that they had. They let people come in, and the same shit happening here. So, in order for whatever's coming next to happen, they have to have us divided and hating each other more than we hate whatever they're going to do. Now, I think if you're in the country, like country, like away from any real large metropolis, uh, you might be able to survive if you have water and a way to generate food. When I say generate food, I mean meat and stuff. There's been all kinds of people sounding the alarm on AI, and then you got the New World Order or One World Government threat, which I saw some shit today or yesterday. I think it was today that was saying that that's a bigger threat than anything. All right, and then I will tell you now, just like it is 100 times, 1,000 times easier to get stuff now than it is going to be if something really bad happens on a national or worldwide stage. One needs to do that, but you also need to enjoy life in the current state as long as you can, because if things go the way that everybody's talking about, your ability to take hours out of your day where you can just relax, whatever that is, smoking a cigar, smoking a doobie, having a drink. One, all that shit's going to be hard to find. Two, your ability to waste that time is going to be diminished. I've said before, 90% of your time is going to be on food and security. So that means sleep, that means laundry, that means personal hygiene. All that shit gets crammed into 10%. So, most people that are preppers haven't lived the life where they did their own laundry. You know, doing it for a week or two is one thing. I did it for a year. All right, well, I did it for 3 months. And then after that, we got access to washing machines, and then we could wash our shit regularly and dry it. But it's still, you wear your clothes, you dirty them up, you gotta wash them. So that's time out of your day. Normally, what we would do, we go and put it in the machine, go do some work, come back, take it out of the machine, put it in the dryer, go do some work, come back, take our clothes to our hooch, and then go back to work. So it was never, people don't understand. So the other thing I want to talk about is a movie called One Life. There is a large portion of America, and not just America, but the world, that dislikes really rich people. So in the movie, the character is played by two different men, but the same person. One when he's young, one when he's old. Anthony Hopkins plays the older character. So he saved 669 children. This guy, not Anthony Hopkins, the character he's playing, out of Prague during World War II, or right before World War II. And he really didn't want any recognition. His wife got on his ass about something, and she went on a trip, and while she was gone, he cleaned up a bunch of stuff. But he had this scrapbook that he kept, and he tried to give it to one reporter, and that reporter thumbed his nose at him, and then after it got picked up by somebody else, and he was getting a lot of recognition that he really didn't want, then that reporter that told him the pound sand came back and was begging him at his house. So the reason I'm talking about this is nobody in America has ever experienced fear to the point where they're willing to do what those people did. They gave this man their kids to take to Britain to find foster families for them. And then at the time, I think the parents knew, but they told the kids a different story. I think the parents knew they were never going to see their kids again. Imagine a world that is so fucking awful that you give your kid to, what is it, amounts to be an acquaintance at best, but mostly a stranger. He assembles trains, passage, visas to get the children out. And he doesn't do it alone. He has a collection of people, a team. But that's the world that existed with the Nazi Empire. This is in Europe, and it was in Prague, Czechoslovakia. So why am I talking about this? While rich people can be awful, and many of them are, they're also a saving grace, because there are some of them that understand right and wrong, and they live their life a certain way. Without this man doing this, in the movie it said 15,000 kids went into the camps and 250 made it out. So he saved 669, which is almost 3 times the number of people that came out of the camps. Most people who are like this guy that is portrayed, everyday common people, he was a hero, and he really didn't talk about it. The problem with that right now is we don't have anywhere to go as Americans. When our money is no longer accepted around the world and is no longer the reserve currency, then we will lose face and favor everywhere. And I've told a couple of people the only reason you're welcome in some countries is because while you're there, you're spending American dollars. When the dollars are not revered and fucking wonderful, you're not going to be welcome as an American. Which is the problem right now, is because we will have literally nowhere to go. if our country falls or fails. Uh, that's not counting EMP. That's not counting nuclear. That's not counting, power grid attack. How many of us will be left over afterwards? So, not sure what to say other than what I was talking about earlier. That is always on my mind. In the shadows, that has me concerned is, if we fall, how are we going to be divided? I can tell you the East Coast is probably going to be Muslim. The West Coast is probably going to be Russia and Chinese, and I don't know who's going to be in the middle. Alaska most certainly will probably be Russia, or probably Russia, because Russia is closer to them than North Korea. So you might have to decide what awful government you want to live under. Russian communism, North Korean dictatorship, Muslim, Chinese. None of that shit's good for us. It's nothing we value. We don't, and I would say to some extent, we don't want to respect it because we don't believe in how they believe. So, easiest way for us to have problems as a country is for them to take the grid down. And there's a lot of fucking information out there right now that July 4th is going to be it. So, having said that, please enjoy life as much as you can right now. It is peaceful. Please also make sure you're taking steps to take care of your family and to protect them, even if they don't support you or believe in what you're doing. Rambled enough. I saw a brief video with Vladimir Putin, and it purported a map where they divided America up, like the decisions is already done. That's what scares me. Not that we fall, but what will I live underneath? What government will I be supporting? Because you can't live in those things and not be a part of the system, which is one of the things that people don't understand about Nazi Germany. You had to be a member of the party in order to exist. If you didn't support them, you went on the fucking train too. So that's what Chief Prepper wrestles with. One, I can't afford to move right now. Two, I don't know where I want to go. I know I want to go somewhere cooler, but what can you do? Prep the best you can. It's the step after everything is bad that you take. Information is knowledge and power. With a little prep, a lot. Share the love. Chief Prepper out.